workshop. Right, we are in a bit of a mess. I might double stack here and sort of try and fit these in when I can. We are in the middle of emptying the workshop. There's also a bit of other jiggling around going on. There's a lot of the stuff that was in here has had to go into some storage areas we've got underneath the house. It's not really a basement, as Americans would call it, but it's a deep foundation, so it's about 1.5 meters high, about 4 foot high, where you can get underneath the house and put stuff. So there's a lot of stuff gone back under there, but it was a bit of a mess under there. So some of the stuff's had to come out to be sorted out, hence the pile of timber at the back, because we've got to find a new home for that anyway, because it can't live under the house. And there's a lot of old stuff we've dragged out and chucked in the bin as well, and sorted some stuff out. So it's generally quite a big tidy up going on. So it's kind of a lot of moving parts, and it's getting them all stacked up and going in the right way. So some stuff's come in, some stuff's gone out. That arrived yesterday, so we're going to have a video on that probably tomorrow, and see if we can get it running. It's a will it run, definitely, not a can we mend it. Though it might end up being a can we mend it if it does run. That's Jerry's, who's the one that destroys the bikes on a regular basis. I think one of her bikes is coming back, so remember if I put the new hanger on it, I said there was an issue where it had ripped the retaining screw out of the carbon on the frame, and I'd tried epoxying it back in with some araldite, and I think the araldite was a bit no good. I have got some stronger araldite, and I've also got some gel coat that I could use to set it back in, so that's possibly coming back to have another go at sticking that back in. But what we got today we're going to do a quick how-to. So this is how to change a tyre. It's a gravel tyre. It's got what we thought was a slow puncture, possibly a dodgy valve. We've checked the valve and tightened that up, but what we've subsequently found is that it's actually leaking through the walls. The walls have perished. We're just going to swap it for another one. Probably worth keeping the tyre. There's still a little bit of tread on it. I'll be able to see how much when I get the other one out, because I've managed to locate exactly the same tyre. So I've managed to get a giant crosscut 82 tyre, same dimensions and everything. It actually wasn't too expensive. I thought they were going to be quite expensive with them being giant specific, but no, it's not too bad. Yeah, so yeah, you can see there's a bit more meat on there. So we're going to get that one off, stick this one on, and then we will see where we are. So I'm just going to take through the process of what you do to seat a tubeless tyre. So first thing you need to do is get the core out. In fact, since we need to regularly break the camera just keeps failing a lot, so I found it's easier if I keep sort of restarting the recording every so often. So this is my sort of kit box for doing tubeless tyres. Discovered you do need rather a lot of kit. So I don't know what state the sealant is in this, but we'll see where we go. So that's the valve. Looks okay. We thought there might have been a problem with the valve, but other than it's got a slight bend in it, but they all have that, it looks okay. So all we need to do now is just get this off. I think what we might do is have a go at the tyre slider, because they are a bit of a pain up the backside to get off. So I'll see if I can do it without getting the spoons involved. So I haven't used this yet, so you'll have to bear with me if I look like I'm a complete numpty with this, because I've no idea how to use it. I think first you've got to get the things with these is you've got to get them off the bead. So it's just like a car tyre. While they're on the bead, they're a nightmare to work with. So if you can get them off the bead, they become a bit easier to deal with. Right, so I think that hooks in like that, and then I think that goes So I think what you have to do is get that under. Obviously not like that. Oh, I get right. I see what you need to do. So we've got to get an edge out. This is the bit I saw on the videos when they were showing it, that this tended to go. That's not very good, is it? Because you can't see what I'm doing now, and I can only go this way. Oh. Have you got anyone out yet? No, Jacob. Right. Oh, well, that was the non-event of the year, wasn't it? Looks like there's a lot of very old slime and crap in there. You can see the inside of the tyres in a bit of a state, actually. So I'll just pop it off the rim on the other side. So it is dry. It is bone dry. There is nothing in there. So what I will advise, this is Ellen's, so I will advise Ellen that keep hold of this tyre as a spare for an emergency. Yeah, you can see. Don't know if you can see. You can see that there's a lot of debris from the slime. You can see what I mean about the thing itself gets in a bit of a mess around there, the valve. See, what you've got to be careful of is that none of this ends up down that valve, because it will clog it up. Now what you need to do is you just need to clean all this crap off, because what you don't want is that to get underneath the bead and then stop it from seating properly. So what we'll do is just give that a quick blast out. Actually, that might. No, that's not going to work. Problem is, I'm in a bit of a mess and I've got no idea where everything is, so I need a cloth. There you go, I've got a cloth. What have we got on this cloth that we can steal? Let's have an arm. These are all old t-shirts. I'd put a call out for anybody who's got cotton t-shirts that they don't want. I will take them. You can buy them. I think you can buy rag packs already done where somebody's already cut them up for you. Seem to be quite popular in the States. So I'm hoping that if I just give this a good rub out, that most of this stuff will lift off, and it does look like it's doing that. So this wheel is interesting because even though it's a tubeless ready wheel, it's not like the Campags, which they don't have tape over the holes. They're more like some of the other wheels where there is no, the metal extrusion has no holes in it on the inside where the tyre is. So all the nipples for the spokes are actually fed in through the valve hole, I'm guessing, unless they put them in while they're manufacturing it before they roll it. But I can't see how they could roll it with the nipples being there. So actually, that's cleaned up pretty easily. I thought that was going to be a lot worse than that. Scabby around that. I don't really want to take the valve out. The valve was loose. The mounting screw for the valve was loose. We've got to make sure, and it was spinning round as well. So I've just got to make sure that that's done up properly. That looks good now. So that's nice and clean. That's not too. That wasn't anywhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. Right. So direction of travel. And this is important. So the wheels on, the cogs on that side. So it's spinning clockwise that way. So there should be, because it is a one-directional tyre, there should be something on here that says direction of travel. I could work it out anyway. Right, I'm pretty sure it's that way. I did spot it on the other one. Come on. Oh, there you go, rotation, arrow that way, so I was right. So we're just going to stick that in there like that. So what you've got to do is when you put this on, is you've got to make sure that you clear that valve on the other side. With it being a tubeless tyre, the bead is going to be a lot harder to manage and manipulate. Putting it on this side should be okay. So just got to make sure that's on the other side of the valve, which it is. And now what we've got, we've got two choices here. You can either put your slop in now and then try and shut it up, or because we've got a cord, there's no valve in there, we can put it in through the valve afterwards, which is what I would rather do. Now the downside to doing that is you end up with a load of crap in there, unless you've got a filler with a long pipe like that you can shove down inside, or shove down inside to get to one side and get it clear of where the valve stem is itself. So I'm just going to keep feeding this in and see how far we get. Don't want to get too far because I'm going to put this on somehow. So this should hook in. There we go. So if I trust me, that was as painful as it looked. So I'm just going to just squeezing these together like I would any other tyre, just to get the bead sat in the middle of the extrusion, and that way it does make life easier. Right, this is what I've seen people do it, get it on the floor for this bit. I've put quite a lot of force into this now, so we'll see how good this is. It's starting to pop out again. Could be going. Oh, that's a lot of force. Nope, tell a lie, that has worked. So actually, if I just give it a good and just had some faith in it, I think we were all right. That was possibly even snapped onto the rim as well, which I'll be calling that a win. Right. There's a couple of things you can do at this point. So you can cheat a little bit if you've got an air hose like this. And use that to pop it on the rim. So that big snap you heard, that's it popping out onto the rim. I can feel that's gone all the way around. So that's just saving too much noise. Right then, so filler. What it's saying is for a cyclocross tyre it needs about 60mm, which is a full tube of that. Helen has given me some tyre sealant. It doesn't feel like it's full, but it doesn't say how much is in here either. But I suspect it's less than 60mm. Right, it says 59mm. There's one shot in there. I suspect that has already been opened. So I'll give her that back and I'll put a shot of this in. And then she's still got that to top it up, because you're supposed to top it up fairly frequently. Now, I think because of how far down in the thing this is, I'm going to stick the extension on. sawdust. That's working reasonably well. So what I want to do now is just give that. Now it's a bit of a pain to fill this up because especially through these small tubes I'm using to fill it, because the stuff does contain a lot of material, little beads and things that are going to naturally stop it from wanting to come up the tube. So they're going to try and block the tube up. That's the only downside to this. It would actually easier to pour this into a dish and then suck it out the dish without the tubing on. But what I'll do is I'll just go for well over the 60, and then we'll squirt it back in there. Once the foam's died down. Right, so that's the 60ml. I'm starting to run out of this. I'm going to have to buy another pot of this. Right, so this is what I was saying about don't get this stuff on the inside of the valve stem. So I'm just going to clean this off. And I'm going to put that deep inside there. I'm going to tip it up on its side slightly, so when it runs in, it runs down the tyre. And we're just going to push it in, because what I don't want is it running back up the down. I can hear it. Right. Right, hopefully we've not got that much on the inside of the tyre. We can stick the valve back in. Get me tighten the uppy toolie on it. That's it. Good and tight. And now we put the lid back on that before I forget, which is what I normally do. There is actually a sealer cap inside there that's supposed to not be stuck on there, but it appears to be stuck. I think it's because I left it off last time. So that's supposed to go in there, seal that, and then that goes over the top of it. We'll just give that a quick clean out because that's starting to look a bit ropey. This stuff, it is just like keep it clean before it dries. So shove that on there. We will blow that out shortly. Right, so you saw me cheat slightly. Oh, the dog's going to eat somebody. Not sure who. Postman. Back. Bing, it was the arch nemesis, the postman. Right, so where were we? Right, so you saw me cheat, and I used the airline to pop it onto the bead. This is your other option. It's an air shot basically. That's the brand name. It's just a pressure cylinder with a line. You inflate it using your track pump there until it's at the pressure you want, and that's important, the pressure you want, because do not overinflate these tyres. If you overinflate these tyres, you will damage the walls and they will leak. So it's really important. You'll get away with it with normal ones, you won't get away with it with these, because there's no inner tube inside them. So that's one way of doing it, and you just literally, it just lets all the air out in one go, gets it on the rim. If you've got a compressor, you can use a normal tyre inflator with a valve, with a thing in it. Again, do not overinflate them. I was very careful when I used the shot thing. I don't have a rubber seal on it, so it can't do that much pressure. At maximum, it probably puts about 50 psi in, which is about what these require. I can't remember what the psi is. It says so somewhere on the rims. Do not go above something or other. 50 to 75 psi. So 50 is the bottom end of it. So that's fine. What we're going to do is we're just going to use a track pump because it's already on the bead. like I said, if it's not on the bead, you need to shock it on. Use one of them, or use a compressor if you've got one. Obviously, that's not going to help you when you're out on the road. So I forgot to mention the other thing. When you're out on the road, if you need to get it back on the bead, the only way you're going to do it is CO2 canisters. But just be careful with those, especially around your fingers, because they do tend to give you a bit of frostbite. So let's see how good I got it on the bead or didn't. So make sure that's undone. Good. Just there. Appears to be taking air. That's good. So I'm going to take it up to the minimum, which is 50 psi. You could just do 40. This is only an initial pump up. Right, we're up to 50. Right. We're back. So it had a bit of a brain fart. Not sure how much of that last piece it got, so we're just recording out anyway, just in case I need an additional out. It's back on. A bit of spray all the way around. No visible signs that we've got any leaks or any issues. So that's the first. Never got one of these to seat first time, but this is the first time I've put a brand new tyre on. I've always been trying to get tyres to reseat, or old tyres that I've put back on rims to seat. So this is actually it's actually looking okay. Just in case we were wondering, it's a Giant SX2 off a Giant off a gravel road bike. Don't know where that is. We'll have to see if I can find another one. I don't think it came with one. I'm going to tell to keep the old tyre. I think I said that earlier. Just for emergencies. This one's fine now. I'll send her back with her stuff there. I've just so you know, the stuff I've been using. It's the Muck Off No Punctures Tubeless sealant. You can also use that in tubes as well, if you can squirt it in. So it acts like the Dr. Sludge, or the can't remember what the other ones are now. Can't remember. Probably just mixed two names up, but they're the tubeless, the inner tubes that come with a sealant in them anyway. So anyway, right, I've got to crack off. I've got some other stuff to do. We've got the generator to pick up tomorrow. I need to flush that out, and we'll get this going. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Leave your comments below. If interested in any more of these how-tos. We've got a lot of motors coming up as well, so probably less bikes. And I think I was saying, would I do this in the new workshop? In here when it's done out. Actually, that wasn't too bad. I've not made that much mess, but it can be a flipping messy job. They're not the greatest things to do when you're out on the road, and they're not that much easier when you're in. But anyway, we'll leave this for another hour, see if it goes down. Job's a good one. Another one from the lockdown workshop. Boom.